With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
All right, Mike, with That's Good Enough for Me here. Ed, I've missed you, man. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself, Mike?
Oh, I'm just doing fantastic. Played a show on Friday in Lincoln, Nebraska, where I live, and went to a show afterwards down the street, and it was like a positive night of local music, so I'm feeling positive about that, and excited to talk about some music news with you.
I'm here for it. Who'd you see?
I saw there's a like stoner metal band in Lincoln called High Ruler, and they are fucking awesome.
Spelled High Lake Heights or High Lake Legend of Zelda?
Like I'm so high.
Awesome. Okay.
I think there's some marijuana themes to this project as well.
And a stoner metal band? That's surprising.
Mm-hmm. They're like the first ones that are ever going to do it. And following that, some friends of mine are in a band called the Machete Archive, and they are a instrumental prog rock band that goes everywhere from like Maynard James Keenan to Rush and back. So a three-piece, probably three of the most technically proficient musicians in the Lincoln, Omaha area. And they're all together in one band that reunites every once in a while and plays some songs. So it was very exciting to remember how bad I am at drums and guitar and bass.
That's awesome.
While watching my friends perform. So I know that you were going to talk some more about Punk in the Park, right?
Camp Pennsylvania.
Camp Pennsylvania. God damn it. Okay. But first, I wanted to talk to the listener about the dangerous world of musician-related online scams that are currently circulating. Because I almost got really fucked by one. And as humiliating as it is, since I'm an IT guy by nature, I felt now, as the co-host of a podcast, that it is my due diligence to tell everybody about this, right? Try to prevent it from happening to more people. But if you're a musician anymore and you use Instagram, Spotify, etc., you get a lot of bullshit. And I, at least, have always wasted the 5 seconds to respond to the Instagram message and then say, oh, never mind, it's a bot that wants me to like pay to get more followers or something. And you just move on. Because they're starting to become a little more clever. Like, hey, how are you? I really like your song Fumes. It's really great. It really brought back some memories of the 80s. Oh, sweet. You know, this guy likes my band. And then he's like, how would you like to have bigger titties? Click here. So most of the time, it's a very short transaction. But a musical project I'm a part of got some emails, I think, originating from our Bandcamp account, from a publisher studio company that had a deal with a very well-known electronic dealer in the world, and that they were looking for rights to music to put in advertisements for this, right? So it looked about as lame as that sounds. But I said, you know, like I said, it never hurts to just respond once. And I said, oh, you know, that might be something I want to do, but I'm not paying any money to you. I'm not going to pay a membership. And they responded immediately and said, no, this is a regular publishing deal. How about you send us like a Google Drive link of your songs, and we can just kind of put together something and show it to you. And so I sent them, I think 5 of my band's songs. And they responded right away and said, oh, this is exactly what we're looking for. we're going to be drafting a contract together if this is something you want to do between us and this big retailer. And I said, wow, this actually looks somewhat legitimate. Let's see how long this laugh goes, right? They sent me a contract that stated I was going to be receiving $15,000 for 10 of my songs. 10 songs and 10 instrumental versions of those songs, which is kind of normal for publishing and stuff. There was comments about some of the individual songs, the lyrics, so it seemed like it was being analyzed by a real person. I received a check in the mail for $15,000 that I deposited into my account. Again, kind of laughing on the way to the bank, like, okay, well, I wonder what they're going to say when they hand them this, right? It looked like a legitimate check. The money went in my account. It was pending. I stared at my bank account, every couple hours for about a week, and the pending stopped, and it's still in my account to this day. So right. I, still being skeptical, started kind of looking around, searching for keywords that might bring me back to this original email or the retailer company, because I said, this is a little bizarre. And I'm getting emails from the studio saying, okay, so now you need to Venmo us our cut, which is $2,000. And I said, oh, well, that's a fair cut, right? Out of $15,000. But why should I Venmo it? Why didn't you guys just, take it originally? And they said, oh, well, if you look at the contract, this is how it works. You get all the money up front for transparency, and then you pay the finder's fee to the third party out of the money that you've received from the retailer. And I said, okay. So I went to my bank on Friday, finally, because I've been nervous, sick about that much money sitting in my account that I don't know if it's real or not. And I went into a banker's office, and she just immediately said, this is all bullshit. And I said, okay, how do you know? And she's like, well, I don't, but if you think it's too good to be true, then it is. So she said, have you paid them anything? I said, no. And she said, so what's going to happen is you're going to pay the finder's fee of $2,000 or whatever. And then they're able to just retroactively bounce this check because it's not real, or it's coming out of some account that isn't real or isn't theirs or something. And at that point, you're going to be negative all the money out of that you've spent, whether you've spent it on your own shit or you've paid this finder's fee, you're going to be negative that amount. And I said, okay. And they said, so we're going to report this check as stolen or fraudulent or whatever. And I said, so how long do I have $15,000 in my account? And they said, it could be a month, it could be a year, it could be 3 years. But that money isn't real, so don't touch it. And so a huge letdown, obviously, to see that check in your hands and see it clear in your bank, and then to kind of put two and two together and get the confirmation. I'm incredibly relieved that I didn't destroy my family's entire credit line by going and buying a whole bunch of Sonic drive-through or something with the money. But I am very empathetic to my fellow musicians that will get swindled into this because, there's got to be a dream to keep this going, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
The fraudulent company is still emailing me. They still think I'm in on it. They're ready for me to Venmo them some of this money, and they're starting to get kind of pushy about how the deal's off if I don't, Venmo them this money. So
are you continuing to play along with it, or have you just kind of ghosted? I
am at the moment, yeah. Right now, I'm playing along with it. Because I'm curious if can they bounce the check the minute I tell them to go fuck themselves, or is this is this some old woman's money that she just doesn't know is missing yet? After, wow, it's been like 3 weeks, So it's not like a bounce check that bounces 3 to 5 business days or something. It's not something like that. So I have moved it to my savings account. So I have earned about a fraction of a penny off of this. And now I've lived to tell the tale on the Almost Punk Enough podcast to hopefully save.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Our listener. What are your thoughts?
That one guy is going to be very excited to have heard and learned his lesson.
But as I said, the dream in the back of every musician's mind, whether they try to act like they're too cool or not, is to do what they love and make a living and have finances that are large enough to contribute to their home, contribute to their family, contribute to their 8-year-old daughter, in my sake. So I have a feeling that some of my closest friends could get that email, could get that check in the mail, see the check clear, and I could look them in the eyes and say, this is all bullshit. And they would tell me to go fuck myself, You're just jealous, man.
What is it that they say? Hope is the worst thing a man can have?
That's true. And what the banker told me is, this is funny because I think this might be the first time. She's like, I've dealt with hundreds of these cases. Like every time somebody walks into the bank in Lincoln, she can tell by this like certain, frantic look in their eye that they're there to talk to her because their account is 20,000 in the hole because of some scam artist or something. So like she said, it happens so often that it doesn't surprise her anymore. But she did say I was the first person that like came to her and was like, I'm actively being scammed right now. The damage has not been done yet. So that's that. That's my weird story. If you get any emails from Bandcamp that look awesome, take them with a grain of salt.
So my shitty photography page gets similar emails constantly, and it's usually as they want to hear more of my music, which I don't do. So it's extremely fun, and they never really play along for too long. Once they realize the name has photography in it and there's no tracks that are coming to them, they kind of give up. But it is fun for about 2 or 3 sentences to go back and forth with them on.
Now, you're my age enough that, like, do you remember Smarter Child on AOL Instant Messenger? It was a bot. It was a bot account, and it was made by somebody. But it was funny, You could chat with it on AIM, and you could be an asshole, and it would tell you to stop cursing. And you could read it Green Day lyrics, and it would be like, that's my favorite Green Day song. So me and my friends used to get drunk and high and, like, fuck with Smarter Child for hours. And, of course, this was in, 1998. So we didn't think about any sort of negative repercussions. We were just like poking a robot with a stick and giggling about it because we were in high school. So, but it's very fascinating, especially now that we're talking more about the use of AI and deep fake and all this stuff, just how easily, maybe at some point in history, you could get a FaceTime from your own grandma telling you to do something really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any more comments about it. I'm still a little confused and frazzled, and I occasionally look at my bank account and say, is there some way I can just like take all this in cash and close my account? But then I realize, does that make me a criminal too? I don't,
Well, it makes you Robin Hood. It's different.
That's true. Well, which Robin Hood? The like shitty, like
not Kevin Costner. We're not everything
Okay.
I do it for you. But
Men in Tights, at least.
yeah, well, definitely, yeah. Abe Lincoln.
I'm more of the Robin Hood that gets like made fun of at the beginning of the first Shrek movie, I think. That's probably my speed. I have like douche voice like he does, but yeah, so that's my music news for the month. How about you give me something more substantial, something with positivity?
So on the 11th, there was a new record released from a band. It's called Spoil System. They're from New York. It's out on Sweet Cheetah Records. That's good enough for me. You got to premiere it on the 10th. I was not at all aware of who this band was prior to this coming out, but I was really digging it. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the entire thing, start to finish. It was just a lot of fun, a really good indie rock record. And then we also had a premiere of the new alt pop single from Taylor Acorn called "Goodbye and Good Riddance," and that's just it's exactly what I said it is. It's that alt pop. It's like Taylor Swift, but with a bit of an edge, and it's really good. She's going to be on the Adobe Summer School tour with Charlotte Sands, which kind of hits all of my preteen musical loves without being overly ironic about them. So I'm looking forward to the rest of that record and all that comes with it.
Nice. No, that sounds wonderful. The only new music I've heard in the last month is music on the Tony Hawk 3 and 4 reboot that I got in the mail on Friday. That it's from artists that I haven't listened to yet.
All right.
I don't know their names though, so I'm very unhelpful right now. But I've just
Well, there was another record that I was really thrown by, and that came out on Fridays on the 11th as well. It's Somerset Thrower. The name of the record is "Take Only What You Need to Survive." This isn't their first record, and they're on the East Coast. They're from New York, so they're not far from me. I've just never stumbled upon them until now, but it's very Jawbreaker, early Jimmy Eat World-ish, and that's probably going to end up sticking around for at least an honorable mention, if not higher, on my my end of the year lists.
Oh, cool. Well, I will be sure to check that out.
I was really into it and sent it to all my friends that are local, but you're just too far away.
Hey, I understand. Plus, I was sitting at home, staring at my bank account, talking about how rich I was.
Yeah, I thought you were above it by now.
Yeah, I made it. I told you and Jeff to go fuck yourselves. Like, did you get my letter that I mailed you, snail mail? You guys are out of my pay grade now.
Are we doing arena shows?
Yeah. Well, speaking of arena shows, we're going to be moving over to an interview here. So, when I saw Save Ferris perform for the first time, it was in an arena in 1996 with the Goo Goo Dolls. It was a good show. And the New Radicals, if you remember them.
I do, yeah, because you get what you get, and he wore a real fun hat.
Mm-hmm. And, Save Ferris just blew the fucking doors down. It was the first punk show I had been to where I thought my chest was going to explode because of the, sheer volume of the stage volume hitting me as a child. So it's a very fun memory, and I'm happy for Monique Powell that she's still performing after all that time. I know that the band has gone through some lineup changes over the years.
The band's had some changes. She's had some health issues. She kind of touches base on all of that throughout the interview. But my first time seeing them was 98. I believe it was definitely at Warped Tour. And then a couple years later, I saw them again at Warped Tour. And then I hadn't seen them for about 25 years until 2023, 2024, when they came back through. right before they started releasing new music again.
So
And then I saw them last winter with Goldfinger, Backyard Superheroes, Joker's Republic, who they're going back out on tour with
nice.
for Thanksgiving in New Jersey. So that was awesome.
So they did perform at one of the after parties at Punk Rock Bowling the year that I went to Punk Rock Bowling to see Devo perform. So I was there while they were performing, but I don't remember them playing because I was fucking wasted. But I remember them playing, and I remember commenting that they sounded really good, and acting like I was maybe a little bit too cool to like them anymore. And then I remember really, really liking them. And then I woke up and threw up. So it's a very small memory, but I remember Save Ferris was a part of it. So as we move into this interview with you and the great Dan, I want to extend a thanks to Monique for entertaining me while I was blackout drunk at Punk Rock Bowling. So here we are.
We're here today with Monique Powell, who's the singer, songwriter, frontwoman for the legendary OC ska band Save Ferris. And I'm also joined with Ed, who goes under Bad Dad. Welcome to our little podcast.
Hey, how you guys doing?
You're fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
I kind of wanted to ask you a question I've been dying to ask right off the bat. Did you ever, in like the early 2000s, play any like warm-up shows under like a pseudonym, under like a fake name?
I'm not sure.
Because I remember, and this is a long time ago, so maybe my memory isn't correct, seeing you play at a place called Spaceland, which is in Silver Lake, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
On like a Monday night under like a fake name, like no one knew you were going to be playing. And all of a sudden I was like, I think I recognize this band. And I went over and I was like, I know this band, it's Save Ferris, but like it was under a fake name. And I was always like, what was the name that they went under? And I was hoping you would remember, but
I don't remember. I do remember playing a warm-up show at the Echo.
maybe it was the Echo. I thought it was Spaceland.
Yeah, but with that show, we did not go under a fake name.
Okay.
But that was a warm-up show for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you were going to go under a fake name, what would it have been?
If I were going to go under an alias, like what would the band name be?
Sure.
We actually do have, I can't remember what the name was. One day we were all standing on the street outside of the van, outside the venue. And this gentleman who looked like he'd been living a very hard life, but super, like, looks like an older punker kind of guy, kind of stumbled by us and was like, oh, there goes fuckface and the shitheads. So we decided that was going to be our alias name for the band.
I don't think I've ever seen that band, so.
Yeah. It's because you didn't know you were seeing us.
Exactly.
You thought you were actually seeing a Save Ferris show.
So, yeah, I didn't want to really get into too many things that you've talked about before. But for those that don't know the Save Ferris history, you were like one of the big third wave ska bands that come out in the mid 90s. And then you had a controversial maybe breakup in 2013. And I don't want to dig too deep into your personal history, but like I know you had some major neck surgery that you didn't know if you could ever sing or walk again. Everything worked out great, and that was kind of, from what I understand, the reason you brought the band back together. But what I kind of wanted to get into was, I've heard you spoke a lot about just being a women-fronted band, being a female manager. in that time period in the 90s in Orange County kind of sucked from what I've heard you say. And I just wondering, do you think things have changed now? Do you think everything is different? How is it nowadays? You know, now that you're back and you've been doing it again for a little while.
All right. Well, first, a couple things. The band never broke up. Some members left in 2000, 2001, and I kept the band going till 2003. And then I stopped touring because my mental and physical state was just destroyed. And so I sort of stayed low. I laid low for about 10 years, and I sang on a bunch of records and did a lot of studio stuff with other bands for about 10 years. And then in 2013, I finally decided to see a doctor about these health issues I had been having for years, physical issues with my back and my neck. And at that point, I was informed that I was kind of like walking around on a broken neck for a number of years. And the calcifications from that damage impeded my spinal cord, which is why I was losing my ability to walk on the right side of my body. And it was choking off the spinal fluid from my brain. And there was like a lot of stuff going on. So I had to have emergency surgery. And then I was kind of like, I was asked by a few doctors, what's important to you? Do you want to walk or do you want to sing? Because the surgery, they'd go through the front of my neck and then I'd probably never be able to sing again. So I just want to clear that up real quick. And then to answer your question, I was Save Ferris's first manager. I did that in my late teens, early 20s, and I thought I was invincible, as a lot of us do at that age. And I helped the band gain some momentum. And then the job just became too complicated and too much. And it was too difficult for me to be able to participate, as a lead singer to the degree that I wanted to. So we got management because things were just moving really quickly for us. And we were getting played on like national radio and getting label attention. And I was like, I don't know how to deal with this stuff. So we turned it over. Then we turned it over, and then I got to really experience the 90s as a front woman in the 90s. And you were right, it sucked. Underneath all the laughs and the fun was this sort of distinct feeling that I just wasn't good enough. And I was made to feel that way by everybody that we worked with. Save for a few women behind the scenes who would show love and support. And obviously my family.
I heard you spoke of too, like being a newer band that got some popularity, being booked with other bands that have maybe been around a little longer as opening for you. You also got some grief for that too. Or, some pushback?
Yeah, I mean, the scene in Orange County was just kind of like misogynistic. It was very high school. It was very like, oh, we've been around longer than you. Like, so you can't headline over us. And sometimes had to make some difficult decisions and say, yeah, but I think we draw more than you do. And then the promoter would echo that sentiment. And then it was very easy to blame me for, the reason why you don't like Save Ferris, which was fine, but the fan base continued to build. So obviously it didn't really matter to the fans, and they were happy with the direction we were going in. So that's really all that matters to me, now, but back then I just honestly just wanted everybody to like me. And so, um,
Do you
I
feel
really,
it's changed nowadays? Do you think things are different?
to a degree, yeah. I think a lot of those bands from those days that still exist that are, purely male, are trying really hard to play catch up. And, but there is still, and I think that's great. I think better late than never. Um, but I also think, now I deal with some ageism stuff,
Hmm.
and that's okay too. Like ultimately, I still have a career 30 years later. I'm touring into my 50s and we're doing great.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. The nostalgia thing seems to be more popular now. You see a lot of older bands that are playing a lot more shows than you did, at least from what I can recognize.
yeah, no, I think for Save Ferris, it's been a really interesting progression because the demographic at our shows is just, it can't be determined or predicted. It's so broad. There's kids who, oops, sorry, that's my ringer for my phone. I should have turned that off. Coincidentally, that was Cliff from my first band, Larry, who's calling me right now.
Oh, okay.
He went on to be in that show, Finding Bigfoot, and
Oh,
then opened the North American Bigfoot Research Center in Oregon, and has done very well. So that being said, yeah, where was I? So we were talking about, the demographic at Save Ferris shows. Yeah, there's like kids who show up who think that we wrote Come On Eileen,
hmm.
you know, and it's cute. And they just want to hear the new songs,
Hmm.
because that's just where they're at.
Hmm.
And then there's our fans from back in the day who are still coming and they're bringing their own kids sometimes. Sometimes they're just there with a bunch of friends and they just want to relive a certain era of their lives.
Yeah,
And so I don't
that's
know,
me.
like,
That's me taking my 9-year-old daughter to. We saw Fishbone a couple weeks ago and stuff. So taking her to
yeah,
see the bands I liked when I was younger. So,
yeah. And I love Fishbone,
yeah.
and they're still one of the best live shows around, hands down, not just in our
Hmm.
scene, but just hands down, one of the best live shows and live performances you'll ever see. So awesome,
Well,
awesome
and
dad.
speaking of that and your
Good
new
work,
songs,
dad.
you put out a song not too long ago called "Get Dancing," in which you did a video where you asked people to learn the choreography and be in it. And unfortunately, I don't remember if I saw it and then forgot to make a mental note of it or forgot about it. But I told my daughter about it, and then I saw the video already came out, and we were so bummed that we forgot to do the video choreography. So she wanted me to ask you, is there any chance you will do something like that again with another new song?
Well, you can still do it and send it in. And
Okay.
coincidentally, there was some other submissions of little girls with their dads
Hmm.
that literally made me cry.
Oh,
They were
okay.
so sweet, so sweet. And yeah, if you do it and you give us permission, we'll put it up on the site.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely will. Yeah,
So tell her
she
it's not
she
too late.
she was into it, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I missed it, But
Yeah,
I'll tell her
definitely
that
not
it's not
too
too
late.
late now. So,
Yeah, definitely not.
so after that, is there more new music coming out? Is there stuff that you're working on? Because you've done what a Christmas song, and then those couple other songs tracks. Um,
Yeah, so we did Lights Out in the Reptile House, and then That was sort of the Halloween release. And
Okay.
then on the flip side of the 7-inch was Xmas Blue, which we released last year for Christmas. And then this year, the 7-inch is going to be Get Dancing on one side, and then a song called Ooh Ooh Rudy on the flip side, which we're doing the video for now. And once the video is completed, we're going to release that single. It's pretty cool. It's a cover of an old 70s British glam band called Juke, called Ooh Rudy.
Okay. Yeah, I've listened to it. I didn't realize it was a cover. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah, it's a cover. It's an obscure cover, but it's a cover.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's the single was released. The single has not been officially released yet, but the song is online and came out with the release of a movie called The Juke's on You, which is a documentary about Juke getting back together 40 years after they broke up. So these guys in their 70s getting back together, these British guys getting back together to play a show in the States, to headline a show in the States. And it's a really cool movie. As a matter of fact, the singer of Juke, his birthday is today, Ian Kimmett. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ian.
Yeah, it's his 80th today. So
And then it looks like you're gearing up to go on a short UK tour and then swing back to the US. Are these
that's exactly.
headlining dates, or are you playing with some other bands you're looking forward to?
So in the UK, there's some festival dates and there's some headlining dates.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we're headlining.
Okay. And do
Yeah.
you have some of the other bands that you're playing with? You're looking forward to? I think maybe I saw you playing with Joker's Republic. I can't remember who else I saw.
Yes, so we are playing with Joker's Republic, but I would have to go on our website to tell
Okay.
you what date that is. But yeah, we're playing with them. Love them. We're playing Rebellion Fest in the UK, and there's bunches of bands on that festival. I remember looking at it going, oh, that's going to be really cool. I love playing festivals. That was one thing I really loved about doing all the Warped Tours.
I think that was the other time I've seen Save Ferris was a Warped Tour. Yeah.
Do you remember what year?
I do not. I want to say I don't remember because I lived in the Midwest and saw it a lot in Milwaukee, and then I lived in LA, saw it at like the Coliseum and stuff.
Oh, cool.
I get mixed up with which ones I saw, which bands I saw where, you know.
Yeah. So we did 98, 2000, and 2017. And
Okay.
yeah, 98 was
2000
when-
I would have been there. Yeah. Would have
Yeah,
been to that
no,
one.
2000 was like with the specials. We did some shows with the specials and Green Day, and yeah, it was a good thing. No effects. It was fun. But that was the thing I loved about the Warped Tours was that, yeah, we got to just like meet and hang out with bands that you wouldn't typically get to know. And it's nice. It's always like a reunion when we play a festival. Everybody gets to see each other and say hi. And it's kind of nice visiting old friends and stuff. We just got through playing some festivals in the UK. We just recently got back, and that was a lot of fun. We got to see our friends in Zebrahead and Less Than Jake, and
I just saw Less Than Jake. That was the Fishbone show. So
yeah. So yeah, that was very cool. Where did you see that at?
I saw him in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm on the East Coast now. So
Okay, are you in Raleigh or?
no, I live near Charlotte. So
Okay, yeah, my dad was from Wilmington,
okay.
North Carolina.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a very nice area. Yeah.
I still have family there, and I love them, and I love seeing them and spending time there with them. I feel like a fish out of water. Being from Los Angeles, it does feel like it's a different world, but I love it there. It's beautiful.
Well, hopefully you guys bring the band to this area Because I looked
We
at your
just
tour dates
played
and I'm like,
Raleigh.
I was like, oh, it's oh, you did?
We did. We
Raleigh's
just
a little
played Raleigh.
far. Like normally I don't go that far out. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, Raleigh's even like Raleigh's like the airport we have to fly into to get to
Okay.
Wilmington. I'm always like, oh man, I got to rent a car and drive 2 hours to get to. Oh, it's like my least favorite part of going there.
yeah, and actually, one other thing I wanted to bring up, I was at the local amusement park, and I was with my daughter, and the other day, and I saw someone wearing a Save Ferris shirt, but then I realized I think it's from the movie, which is a great
Yes.
movie, and I was like, I wonder how that works. Is there any issues with like trademarks in having merchandise for your band versus the movie? I don't. I was
Yeah.
curious. Like, no, there's no issues with that.
Yeah,
'Cause-
we quietly allow each other to exist.
okay.
Coincidentally, Paramount waited until we had put that saying on shirts for
Mhm.
over 10 years before they decided to put out their own shirts
Yes.
with our band name on them. So it helped us immensely after we helped them immensely. So I guess it's a collaboration of sorts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not an unwilling participant. I'm just an unknowing participant in that collaboration. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I get sent pictures all the time of our shirts and their shirts, and it doesn't matter because everybody thinks, oh, you like that band Save Ferris, and every time they say that and someone goes, who?
Yeah. I was almost going to
Now they
say
know
that,
who we are.
and then I was like, wait, I think that might be from the movie.
Yeah,
I'm not
now
sure.
they know who we are.
Did you have any thing you wanted to add, Ed?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about Paramount, obviously we can't not talk about 90s ska being all over every teen movie that was made. And that was at the height of my post-pubescent starting to date situation. So for me, I think that any movie made after 1994 that had ska in it, obviously it was really a strong introduction for ska. And ska seemed to have really kind of grown at the same time that it was movies. So which was it that blew up first? Was it the bands or was it the use of the bands in the films?
So in the 90s, I think that they asked us to be in 10 Things I Hate About You because it was just the perfect demographic for the film. We were appealing to the same age group of people that they really wanted to market to. And to this day, it's like everywhere in the world that we go, people know that movie. So it was really a successful venture for us. And I'm so grateful that we were asked to be in that movie. So I think that's what happened. I think that they just sort of went, well, this is exploding right now, so we got to put them in the movie. And it just ended up being this hilarious thing. Oh, okay, you're going to be in a prom scene too? Like in the 90s? Great. That's going to be great for you. You're going to have a fabulous time. Like all of us have these stories to tell now.
Well, the trajectory of the country has gone very far downhill since those days of ska bands in 90s teen flicks. So I think there's a lot to be said about bringing that whole thing back.
I mean, that's why we came up with the saying ska now more than ever. I think this world needs ska now more than ever.
Yeah,
know?
I just found
I
out
agree.
that the podcast, can't think of the name of it right now, that uses your slogan that came from you. So
We did. Patrick Ferguson came up with
Yeah.
that in 2017 when we were on Warped Tour. And we were just like really dealing with the state of the world changing. And he said it. He said, I think we need ska now more than ever. I was like, dude, that should be on a shirt. And so we started putting it on shirts.
yeah,
And
it's
that kind of
In
became our
Defense of
motto.
Ska was the podcast.
Yes.
They used that slogan, and then I found out it came from you guys. So,
Yeah. It did.
It's a great slogan. Yeah.
Thanks. I mean, yeah. Thanks. And it couldn't be truer now.
Well, so we're just about out of time. Is there anything else that you wanted to plug besides the shows you mentioned? And you said you have their new video coming out.
Yeah. Those are the things. And then we have a full length that's going to be coming out sometime after the next 7-inch. I don't know. Maybe it'll be out for Christmas. Who knows?
Is the plan for that to be self-released, or do you have a label in mind for it?
It'll probably come out on MVD. And yeah, it's already done. We're just waiting for the right time to release it.
Now more than ever.
Yeah, that's right.
Now more than ever.
Well, definitely looking forward to checking that out and listening to all the new songs, because I do like the couple of ones you just put out.
Thank you.
The Get Dancing and the Ooh Ooh Rudy one.
Yeah.
Which now I know I'll have to find the original and check that out
Oh
too.
yeah. That was just released as
Okay.
well. So now you can find the original by Juke on all of the streaming platforms. So
Great. Did you have anything else, Ed?
No, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Yeah, this
Of
has been a pleasure.
course.
I really appreciate it. We're both big ska fans, so I grew my love of ska in the early '90s. So, and then later went back and started to love the older two-tone and the older ska. But I founded my love for ska in the '90s during the third wave. So.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And my story is very similar to yours. I I basically, found ska I was introduced to ska as a kid by my sister, mostly the specials and Madness and stuff like that, and Selector. But really got into it in Orange County in my teens in the 90s. So it's been a lifelong endeavor,
Again, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, you guys. Have a great
Thank you
day.
again. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, nice. Thanks, Ed and Dan, for putting together that interview with Monique. And yeah, Save Ferris is touring and shit right now, so if they are playing in your neighborhood, make sure to check them out. All right, well, I think that about wraps up this episode. Did you have any more comments for me, Ed?
No, I had a great time talking to Monique, so just thank you for taking your time out with us, and thank you for being one of my favorites when I was 18, and now again when I'm 43.
Hell yeah. And as always, go to that'sgoodenougghforme.com. Find our head editor, Jeff, and say, hey, man, why you got to ghost Ed and Mikey like that on Sunday nights? He's always so gung-ho, and then he's just so good at just, I think, closing his phone. We don't close phones anymore, but imagine that he has, an old flip phone that he can close. And he puts his, earplugs and his eye mask on and his old, Ebenezer Scrooge pajamas and goes to bed. That's what I always imagine.
His kerchief and cap?
Yeah. You'll rue the day that you stood us up again, Jeff. But yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for listening. And we will see you again very soon. Well, you will hear us again very soon. You got that?
That's perfect. Awesome. See you next time.